to Olfactophiles. I'm Tara, and today we are going to do part 2 of my entire collection series. And so this one is going to include houses that begin with the letters F through L. And then we'll have one more after this. So if you didn't see the first one, I'll link it below and in the cards. And then, of course, stay tuned because part 3 will be coming out pretty soon. But let's go ahead and get started with our first house. All right, so the first house up today is that of Frassai, which is a small female-owned fragrance house from South America. And the fragrance I have from Frassai is called Teisenddu. This is a Roxanne Kirkpatrick creation. And this one I really like to wear in the fall, and maybe some in the winter too, but mostly the fall. It's like rum and spice, like nutmeg, a little bit sweet. There's definitely a leather quality to it, which if you watched my like top fall fragrances videos, you know, apparently I really like to wear things that smell like leather in the fall. But yeah, there's like a little bit of like this sort of woodsy juniper-y kind of note in here as well, but that's just a great fragrance for fall. So that's called Teisenddu from Frassai. Then we have one, still just one. I've only ever had one at a time from Frederic Malle. And actually, this is the same one I had last year. This is L'Eau d'Hiver. This is a Jean-Claude Ellena creation. And this one is this, oh, it's so pretty. It's like this white musk, iris, heliotrope, fluffy, beautiful, light angelica sort of combination. So it's floral and clean and musky. It's just like so airy and angelic, really. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's definitely still my favorite Frederic Malle, and still the only one that I currently own. And then next we have one from Gallagher Fragrances. This one is called Vanilla Silk. And of course it was created by Daniel Gallagher, the owner of this independent perfumery from the United States. And this one, as it says right here, is vanilla, white amber musk, and woody notes. And to me, this is so good too. It is definitely all of those things. It's predominantly vanilla, like a woodsy vanilla, but you do get that sort of musky quality to it as well. It's just phenomenal. It's my favorite woody vanilla for sure. So that's Vanilla Silk from Gallagher Fragrances. Then we have one from Giorgio Armani. So we're getting to the G's now, or we just did, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Gallagher starts with a G too, because, you know, I'm a thinker. Anyway, so this one is called Terra de Joia or de Joia. I don't know how you say it, but this is kind of a basic fragrance, I'm not gonna lie, but for some reason I really, really like it. It reminds me a little bit of the Armani Mania for women that's like discontinued. It had the white cap and I wore it in the early 2000s, so that might be why. But to me, this is kind of like almondy, sort of like a bit floral. Just, again, it's not like anything super exciting, but I just enjoy the way it smells. It smells very pleasant. So that is Terra de Joia. Oh, and this one was created by Fabrice Pellegrin, Natalie Lorson, and Honorine Blanc, if I remember correctly. There's 3 perfumers on this. So yeah, that's that. Now let's get into Guerlain. This is gonna take a minute because this is the house that is the most represented in my entire collection. I want to say I have around 10-ish, maybe 11 fragrances from Guerlain still, so let's go ahead and get into those. Okay, so first up from Guerlain is one I talked about recently in a discontinued fragrances video, because it's discontinued. This is Baiser de Russie. This is a Thierry Vasser creation. And this is a really light scent that, it's really pretty. It's like sort of this like a little bit sweet caramel vanilla, but then there's like a sour sort of cranberry note in here. It smells like trees, like in the like pine forest. There's definitely some tonka in this as well, but overall it just wears really light and airy, and it's kind of makes you feel like you're outside almost, but maybe outside enjoying something sweet. But that one's Baiser de Russie, and yes, unfortunately that's discontinued. Then we have this one here. This, I'll show you the sides because the fronts all look exactly the same. This one is Bois d'Harmonie, And if that even focuses, whatever, I give up. Bois d'Harmonie reminds me a lot of Louis from Guerlain as well, but they do have some differences. Bois d'Harmonie was created by Annick Minardo, and this one is just this wonderful like woody benzoin kind of fragrance that I really love. There is like some floral in here and definitely like some incense and maybe like some sort of pepper in here that kind of lifts it a little bit. But yeah, this one is just a really, if you like benzoin, I think you would enjoy the Bois d'Harmonie, especially if you like kind of woody benzoin combos, because that's really what I get here. But also it is kind of similar to Louis, so they're not exactly the same, but if you have one, you might not need both, which is why I don't have both anymore. Okay, next. Cuir Beluga, which is the suede fragrance from this Art and Materials collection. I freaking love this. It's beautiful. It's so good. So this one is Olivier Polge, and it is like this light, fluffy, vanillic suede. And gosh, I think it's heliotrope in here that gives it that fluffiness. You definitely get that sort of Guerlain vanilla that's in here, but you know, suede is the predominant note in this, and it's just so perfect for this time of year in the fall. But I love that one. Let me not break stuff. Next we have another, well, it's not really discontinued, but it's hard to get in the US anymore because I think it's just available where they have fountains in the Guerlain boutiques. But this one is called Gourmand Coquin. This is my favorite chocolate fragrance of all. This was created by Christine Nagel and Sylvain Delacourt when she was still with Guerlain. Oh, this is like chocolate and rum and roses and like some, like a black tea maybe, but gosh, that's a sexy fragrance. It smells delicious. So that again is Gourmand Coquin from Guerlain. Then we have another from the Art Material collection. This is Iris Terrefi. And so this is supposed to be like a roasted sort of iris fragrance. Gosh, I cannot get that to focus. There we go. So this was created by Delphine Jacques. It's a little bit of a newer release from this line. And it's like iris and coffee and leather. And there's some other things too. I think there's like a little bit of a cardamom sort of spice note in here. Definitely some ambrette is what it smells like to me in this as well. But overall, it's like this roasted iris kind of scent. And I really enjoy it. Not everybody ended up liking this, but I'm a fan. I also like iris a lot. And some of these other notes that are in there. But that's that one. Then we have one from the Aqua Allegoria line. This one's called Mandarin Basilic. And this freaking makes my mouth water. So this one is Marie Salamagna, I think. And it's just like, well, so it's basil and mandarin, of course, was what it tells you. But there's like, I think orange blossom in here as well. And it does seem to have a little bit of like a tea note to it, but it really does make my mouth water. And this is one of my favorite fragrances to wear when it's like super crazy hot out because it's refreshing and just so nice and citrusy and yummy. But that's Mandarin Basilic. Then, let's see, I think we still have 5 more Guerlains. We have this one. This is Mon Exclusif. This one's discontinued as well, unfortunately. This was the precursor to Mon Guerlain. So Thierry Vasseur created this, and this is like one of my favorite lavender fragrances because it has this slightly sweet, I think it's supposed to be a buttered toffee accord, but it's like kind of like this little bit like vanillic, sugared, like burnt sugar kind of accord in here with the lavender and almond is what I pick up in this, and it's absolutely beautiful. I do like Mon Guerlain, but I love Mon Exclusif. So that one, unfortunately, again, discontinued. They need to knock that off. I understand it doesn't sell, but they need to knock off this discontinuing all my favorites. Anyway, okay, another Art Material. This is Neroli Outre Noir. And this one is predominantly, to me, a tea fragrance. So this is Delphine Jacques and Thierry Vasseur. And it's like tea and orange blossom slash neroli. It's neroli apparently because it says that, but it doesn't come off really bitter to me like neroli can. Petitgrain, there's like something a little tiny bit smoky in here. Also definitely some citrus notes. But as a whole, this is one of my very favorite tea fragrances, even though I'm not like, if you know me or you watch my channel a lot, you know that neroli is not a note that I normally go for. And so this me loving this fragrance so much should tell you this does not smell that much like traditional neroli, because I wouldn't like it in that case. But it's a beautiful tea fragrance. And I've gotten compliments on this before too. All right, moving on. Next up is one of the newer releases from Guerlain. This is the Shalimar Millesime Tonka. I'm so sorry we're having some serious focal issues today. Can't get focused. Anyway, so this one is the Tonka version of Shalimar, and I talked about it recently. I did a video on it, so I'll just link that. Won't talk about it a lot here, but to me, this primarily smells like if you combined Tonka Imperial from Guerlain with Shalimar. I really like it a lot. And if you're a Tonka fan, I don't see how you couldn't like this. But yeah, so that's Delphine Jelk and Terry Voster again, as is the other Millesime, like limited edition release of Shalimar. This is the Vanilla Planifolia, and it was released last year. And so this one mostly is just vanilla. It's much further away from Shalimar. In fact, it smells more like the Shalimar cologne that came in the pink bottle that was more like sort of lemony fluffy than it does the traditional Shalimar, but it still is pretty far from that as well. This is predominantly this like bourbon vanilla fragrance with, you know, light reminders of Shalimar embedded within it. So that's that one. And then the last Guerlain I have is my favorite of all. Well, and I will say this, I also really like another one from this line that I used up in the summer, but I will probably repurchase maybe for my birthday because it's expensive. But Angelique Noir is a really great, like kind of green vanilla fragrance from this collection. But my very favorite is this one. This is Spiritus du Vanille. And this is their boozy vanilla fragrance. This is created by Jean-Paul Guerlain, and it's like, God, I love this scent so much. This is vanilla and benzoin, rum, incense, pink pepper, touches of like rose, florals, whatever. But it's just like the most cozy, boozy vanilla ever. It doesn't project a ton, but man, I just love to douse myself in this and smell myself all day long. And I smell fantastic when I wear it. So that one is Spiritus du Vanille. All right, now we're going to get into houses that begin with the letter H, and we're going to start off with a house or a particular fragrance that I've talked about for a long time because I've worn this for decades at this point. This is Anna Marie by Anna Marie, and this is sometimes also referred to as butterfly because there's butterflies on the boxes, even though that's not the actual name of the fragrance. And I have the Parfum concentration. So this is created by Bernard Elena, and I do think some people might smell this and think it smells dated, but I freaking love it. It's like this sort of fruity, woody floral, so it's like berries and blackcurrant, sandalwood. Definitely the floral in here is ylang ylang, has an almond quality to it as well, but I think this is sexy, and I'm not going to quit wearing it. I don't care how old it is. So that one is Anna Marie, and if I didn't say, this is a Bernard Elena creation. Then we have one from Hermes, just one, I know. I would like to get the Vetiver Tonka. I freaking love that one. But this one is Ambre Narguile or Ambre Narguile, however you say it. I've heard it, people say it both ways. But this one is Jean-Claude Elena, and it is delicious. Oh my God, I love this fragrance. So it's like honeyed tobacco and amber, and there's like cinnamon in here. Again, like this vanillic benzoin quality. God, I love this fragrance so freaking much. But yeah, so this one, a classic, right? Just absolute classic from Hermes. Then we have one from the House of Sillage. It's the only cupcake I still have because I paid so much money for this damn thing. But this is Wonder Woman 1984. It was a limited edition release, sort of. They brought it back once, but I think it's gone again. I was so mad. But I do love this fragrance, and it is my favorite fragrance from their brands, although I don't really buy anything from them anymore. But this one, so I don't know who created it, but it's like vanilla, and there's like some sort of like a orris butter kind of note in here. Definitely like an almondy quality. It smells sort of like a toasted almond marshmallow in a way. It's like a little bit roasty. There's Davana in here and Toulouse balsam, but yeah, I do really love this fragrance, which is good because, like I said, I paid a crap ton for it. But I don't think I would spend the money on most things from this house, although they do go on sale half off all the time. So then it's probably worth it. This one was not. I mean, it was I don't know. I don't know if it was worth it, but it wasn't half off when I bought it because it was limited edition. All right, moving on to houses that begin with the letter J. We have one from Jacques Fath. This is Fath de Fath or Fath de Fath, however you want to say it. But this is a vintage fragrance. I got this recently and I talked about it in a video. But this is, I'm not sure who the perfumer is, but this is like this fruity, floral, woody fragrance. So there's like peach and I would say like some sort of white floral in here, vanilla. I just got that on my nose. Anyway, that's all I'm going to smell the rest of the day. It's like amber, woods, yeah, bunch of fruits. But that's a nice one. Then we have one from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is La Belle Le Parfum Intense. And this one was created by Quentin Beach and Sonia Constant, just like the original was. But this is like, it's pear, vanilla, tonka, and jasmine, I think, are the main notes that are credited to it. But definitely this is like tonka heavy, but you still get that like juicy sort of pear vanilla combo that's in the original. I like them both. I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. Definitely kind of a sweet fragrance, but one that I do get compliments on and does smell kind of sexy. So that is the La Belle Le Parfum Intense. Then we have one from Jo Loves. So this is Jo Malone's current house. She sold Jo Malone a long time ago, but she started her own again. And so I have here Mango Thai Lime, of course, created by Jo Malone. And this one, besides mango and lime, has this like nice, like sort of greenish woody vetiver thing going on. I think there's mint in here, thyme, but it is a very realistic sort of lime and mango accord that's in here. Smells very like bright and refreshing. And I love wearing this in the summertime. I was able to try this because of Hillary from the Borough. I'll try to remember to link her channel down below, but big fan of that one from Jo Loves. Next we have some from Jo Malone, which, you know, again, doesn't actually belong to Jo Malone anymore. But first up, I have one in this little cute bottle here. This is called Blackberry and Bay. This is a fragrance that's been around for a long time. It's just in a different packaging in this case, but it's Fabrice Pellegrin. And this one, yeah, so you have blackberry and of course like bay leaf, but it smells like grapefruit, I think, because it's like a little bit bitter kind of citrus in here. And then definitely like a woody quality as well. It's, I don't really have anything else in my collection that smells just like this, and I do quite like that. And then I have one from the Rare Teas collection. So here's this, it's called Midnight Black Tea. And gosh, it's Serge Magelier. So this smells a little bit like a tea version of this. Like they smell different because this smells more like tea and this doesn't. Yeah, Ambre Narguile and this Midnight Black Tea do definitely have some overlaps. Ooh, I love this so much. So this is like tea and cacao probably. I think there's like a tobacco note in here for sure. Tonka, it's a little bit sweet, which is why it, you know, overlaps somewhat there. But that's a great one. I think it's just, I mean, I'm sure it's discontinued, but I really like that. Then I have, you know, a popular one from the line. The next two are actually quite popular. This one's Myrrh and Tonka from the like Cologne Intense collection. This is Mathilde Bijou, and this is Myrrh and Tonka. Lavender in here as well. And then it has like this like vanilla almondy kind of thing going on too. But this is like a deep, dark, sexy kind of fragrance, or maybe not so much sexy, but like cozy, like you want to curl up with somebody in the wintertime kind of fragrance. And this actually does last really well. It's a rare thing for a Jo Malone to last at all, but that one does. And here's the one that my car always smells like, and also I sometimes smell like. It's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. I love this fragrance. I don't care how basic it is. I don't care. I love it. So this is Christina Gel, and it's like this woody sage, like musky, ambrette, skin salty kind of thing going on. I just love it. I love it. It's so easy to wear, light. I like that saltiness to it with the woods. And yeah, my little Jo Malone car diffuser thing is constantly filled with wood sage and sea salt. That's what my car smells like. All right, let's move on to K's. So next we have one from Kayali, And this is a Vanilla 28. Pretty straightforward vanilla. It's very sweet. Look how dark that is. This has been sitting in the dark, and this is how dark this has gotten. It's pretty crazy. But I do like it. It's sweet. This is a very sweet vanilla. It's created by Gabriella Celeroux, and it's like brown sugar vanilla. And I think that like brown sugar accord is something that they actually include there, but it does kind of smell like that. Tonka, I would say in here as well. It does have the tiniest bit of a powdery quality to it. Some amber. That's the main thing I get though. It's mostly just a little bit of like a dark sweet vanilla. But I think for kind of being a just mainstream option, I think it is a really good option for vanilla if you're looking for one, especially if you don't mind something that's a little bit sweeter. In general, like if I'm choosing between this boozy vanilla and this sweet one, I'm definitely always going to go with the boozy. But occasionally I like to smell like a sweet vanilla too. So we throw that in rotation sometimes. Anyway, next up we have Kilian, and y'all have heard me talk about this fragrance a billion times. This is Angel Share. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Also overlaps quite a bit with this one from Hermes. It's as though I have a thing for these types of fragrances. I do. This is Benoit Slepuza, I think is the perfumer for this. Oh, I love it. It smells like a cognac barrel that's just been soaked in like the booze and spices and dried fruits and vanilla, and it's delicious and I love it, and it lasts forever on me. And that's all I'll say about it. Then we have another one I really love. This is Back to Black. This is my sexy powder fragrance, because people always say it smells really powdery. This is Khalees Becker, and it's like this honey tonka tobacco sort of thing. Has a little bit of incense in it too, slight almond nuances, but in general, it is a sort of powdery tonka that's in here, which is why I think people think it smells like powder. But it does have that honey tobacco as well. I think it's a very sexy fragrance, and it makes me feel hot when I wear it. Not temperature-wise, though. Then we have Lervert. I don't know how you say it. Good God. Somebody's going to correct me, and I don't care. But this one I also really enjoy. This is, who did this one? Oh, Matthew Nardin did this one. And this smells like these, gosh, I need to find the name of it. What, like, something Rosales, I don't know. They're like these Spanish, like tortilla sort of things. And they have like aniseed on them, and like they're tiny bit sweet, and they're freaking delicious. And that's what this smells like. So this is supposed to be like, sort of an absinthe fragrance, but it definitely has this like anise licorice vibe to it that I really, really like a lot. And yeah, it reminds me of those little something Rosales, something, I don't know. Inez Rosales, I think is the name of the brand. But they have these anise ones, and they're delicious, and you should eat them. But that's what this smells like. Anyway, let's go on to the L's, trying to move through this. We have a Lab on Fire, and this one has the name I hate the most of any name of a fragrance in my collection. It's Messy Sexy, Just Rolled Out of Bed. I hate this name, but I like the fragrance. This one is a Dominique Ropian creation, and it's like this fluffy toffee vanilla combo. It has heliotrope for sure, and definitely a musk, like sort of like a clean, light, airy musk to it as well. I don't know that, I mean, I guess maybe because it's the morning, it'd be like morning sexy, like fluffy morning sexy. I don't know. I don't know that the name matches the fragrance, but also, like I said, I just hate this name. Anyway, that's that one. Then we have a newer one to my collection. This is La Douleur Exquis from Les Abstraits. And this is one that Eugene from You Smells Good has been the creative director, and he's the owner of this brand. This was created by Antoine Lee, and it is just this absolutely beautiful rose fragrance. It's like rose, patchouli, castoreum. There's like light touches of iris in here, I think. Yeah, this is nice. A little bit of cumin, cedar, a little incensey vibe, but that rose is the main player, and it's like a very velvety kind of rose in my opinion. So that's beautiful. And then just a few more left, guys. I have some from Les Indémodables. This house also uses Antoine Lee as the perfumer, and first up is Mousse de Sable. And this is one of my favorite, if not my very favorite, musk fragrance. This is like, it's a combination of musk and like this orris butter and a little bit of like this salty skin-like ambergris. I think some other light touches of like maybe something vanillic or benzoin perhaps, but in general, this is just an absolutely gorgeous musk fragrance if you haven't tried it. And this whole house, like, as long as you find one in the style that you like, they're freaking amazing. The quality of this house is just fantastic. You cannot go wrong. You just need to find a scent that's in the style that you like. Speaking of, the first one that I bought from this house is definitely in a style I like. This is called Vanille Havane. And this one is like this tobacco, cacao, dried fruit, rum deliciousness. I got a compliment on this from my boss one day, but I love that one. And then the other one I have from L'Indomitable is Rose de Jamal. And this one smells like the whole rose. It's like the woody stem and the leaves. So it's like kind of a little bit of a green rose. There's also pink pepper in here. And I think when I smell it, there's like something like maybe lavender. There's some other sort of floral in here. But I just love this rose fragrance. Again, one of my favorite roses in my collection. And last but not least today, take a breath. This is from Louis Vuitton and it is Afternoon Swim. And this is a very simple fragrance by Jacques Cavalier. It's like bergamot and mandarin and ginger and ambergris. And it doesn't wear a super long time, but it smells fantastic when it is on you. This is a great summertime scent. It really does just smell like this refreshing, like watery, citrusy kind of thing. And I'm a big fan. I spray it on liberally in the summer and I smell amazing. Even if it's just for a few hours. But that's it today. Oh my goodness, we did it. So, let me know if you have and like any of these, or maybe you hate them or whatever. Let me hear your thoughts. Like I said, I will be doing part 3 very soon and I will get that posted. Also, if you haven't checked out part 1, make sure to go back and look at the fragrances from the houses that begin with A through E. But the next one is going to be the longest one just because of the way it got kind of broken up, because we're literally going from like M all the way to the end of the alphabet. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.